Hello everyone. Today is the last day for our notes and information that's going to be on our health test. So that's super exciting, I know, for everybody. We will go over nutrition today. Tomorrow we will review for your test, and then on Thursday you will take your test. Friday we will still be back in the PD room, in the room that we've been in for health, to go over our fitness gram numbers, to review our health test, and to do some other things. You will have time after your test, as probably you will also have time on Wednesday after we do our study guide to work on your extension activity. So if that's not done, you will have some time Wednesday and Thursday, so make sure you bring those with you so that you have something to do during those times. And then they are all due by Friday when health is over. I also am not taking any late assignments past Friday, so if you're missing an assignment, make sure it gets done and turned in before Friday, because after that we're done with health, so I'm not taking any of your late assignments past that time. All right, let's move on to our nutrition area. Okay, today we're talking about My Plate. My Plate is a guide to help us eat a variety of healthy foods in recommended portions. In your notebook, list the 5 USDA, which is the United States Department of Agriculture, that's what USDA stands for, food groups. So there are 5 food groups. There are only 5 food groups. So today's warm-up should be quick and easy, and it should be done right now. What are the 5 major food groups that would be included in the My Plate? So that's what you're doing for your warm-up, so go ahead and pause and do that now. All right, you're back for notes. So the 5 food groups are, the first one is grains or carbohydrates. Grains and carbohydrates provide energy, so that's their main focus. What they do for you is provide energy. So breads and things of that nature provide energy for your body. So some examples: breads, noodles, oatmeal, oats, granola, rice, tortillas, crackers, pancakes. Those are all grains and carbohydrates. What you have to understand about grains and carbohydrates is there's a whole grain, which is usually a brownish or more brown color, and then there is a white bread or white noodle. It's based off of a non-whole wheat flour. It's based off a white or an enriched flour. So things that have the white or enriched flour are basically straight sugar. They are not great for you. So even though you say your body needs carbohydrates, I should have pieces of white bread, not necessarily. You can have some, but not a lot. In fact, my kids we don't have white bread at our house. Now, when they go to friends' houses or on holidays or when they're at my parents' or my husband's parents' houses, yes, they will eat white bread. So it's not like they've never had it. But I'll never forget the first time they had it, they're like, "This is amazing," which made me chuckle. But yes, it definitely tastes good. But wheat bread tastes good too, and it has to be a whole wheat bread. So it can't say like multigrain or something like that. When you turn it over and look at the nutrient label, if it doesn't say as the very first ingredient whole grain, 100% whole grain wheat, it's not 100% whole grain wheat. And that's the kind of grains that you want to be consuming. A brown rice, the whole grain pasta noodles, whole grain breads and rolls, that's what you're looking for. Okay, oatmeals, oats, a granola bar doesn't count. That's a sweet. Okay, that is not something that is healthy for you or providing you with any kind of nutrient. So that food group, its purpose is to provide your body with energy. So you'll hear people say, oh, eat a lot of pasta before your game, like the night before, to help prepare your body with those extra carbohydrates to give your body energy, because that's what those nutrients, that nutrient inside carbohydrates does, or the carbohydrate is a nutrient. That's what it does for you inside that greens group. Okay, so that's the first one. Second food group is protein. Protein builds and repairs muscles and tissues. Some examples are meat, eggs, seafood, nuts and seeds, as well as beans. Okay, so when you're talking about protein, you are talking about things like obviously steak, chicken, turkey, meat, that's right in front of you. Ham is what I meant to say. And then you're also talking about eggs. You're talking about seafood as far as any type of fish. Now, when you fry something like chicken or fish, it takes away all of its nutrients. So when you have fried chicken and you have fried catfish, that's a fat. That is not a protein. That does not go on the My Plate area. It is not healthy. It is not good for you. Chicken nuggets, chicken tenders, those things are fried. All they do, so what happens when you dunk them in the boiling grease is all of the nutrients get sucked out and all the fat and oil from the grease gets in there, and they fry it up to this nice crispy brown. And I'm sure it's delicious, but it's also terrible for you. So if you're eating something like fried fish or fried chicken and your fingers are greasy on the ends, like as you're eating them, that's a fat, okay? Not healthy, not good. Grilled chicken is fabulous for you. Baked chicken, rotisserie style chicken, those are all phenomenal choices. Turkey is a really good choice. In fact, substituting a ground turkey for a ground beef is a really good choice. It's a lot leaner of a meat. When you think about a turkey in comparison to a cow, a turkey is just a much leaner, same with chicken. They're just much leaner animals. Cows have a lot more fat on their body just in general. So and pigs too. So like ham and any type of pork product, pork chops, those meats from pigs and cows have a lot more fat just marbled or like kind of woven into the meat and all throughout the meat. So it's a much fattier meat substance. So yes, it is providing you with the protein. And yes, your body does need the protein to help build and rebuild your muscles, especially after a hard run or a hard workout. It's important to give your body some kind of protein to help rebuild those muscles. But picking a leaner protein is going to be better for you. When you're picking a bunch of red meats, your cholesterol will go up because you're taking all the fat from the pig and all the fat from the cow and just depositing all that fat into your body and into your arteries. And so it just starts to clog your arteries with that cholesterol, which we talked about before when we talked about heart disease. So just not the best choice. Not a terrible choice, but when you're talking about proteins, eggs are a great choice. Nuts and seeds, so like unsalted sunflower seeds are great. Any other type of seed. Peanuts in moderation, especially unsalted kind, are very good for you. Almonds are great. Walnuts are great. Pistachios, macadamia nuts, those are all really good for you, as well as beans. So, green beans obviously could be in the vegetable, but it also provides you some, like kidney beans and baked beans provide you with some protein. Pinto beans, refried beans, those are good choices for proteins. Okay, so that's when you're thinking about a protein, those are the things you're looking for. Any type of nut butter, so like peanut butter. The best peanut butters are the all-natural kind, and you'll see those come usually in a glass jar. And when you open up the lid, there's like a layer of oil on top, and you can just like dump that out and get rid of it because it's just fat. And then you can mix the peanut butter up and use that. Jif and other peanut butters have a ton of added sugar, which is why they're not always great, but they do provide you with protein. So when you're picking a peanut butter or any type of nut butter, because there's almond nut butters and all different types, you want to find something that doesn't have a lot of sugar added to it and that also doesn't have a lot of extra oil, like where you can dump that extra out. Okay, next one. Fruits. This is an easy one. We know what fruits are. They provide our bodies with essential vitamins and minerals. So you have your whole pieces of fruit like apples and bananas, oranges, all of those things, grapefruits. And then you can have frozen fruit pieces. Blueberries come frozen. People put those in pancakes frequently. Frozen strawberries, or even dehydrated pieces. You'll see dehydrated strawberries go into a lot of cereals where they're kind of like almost soft and a totally different texture. And then 100% fruit juice. So with 100% fruit juice, it is definitely not nearly as good for you as eating the fruit itself. Again, it has a lot of added sugar, and that's not great for your body. So like you say, oh, I drink orange juice, like 5 cups of orange juice every day. Well, okay, but it'd be better if you just ate an orange, like a lot better, because you're also putting a ton of extra sugar into your body when you're eating or when you're drinking the orange juice in comparison to when you're actually eating an orange. Same thing with apple juice or grape juice. 100% is much better. Fruit juice is much better than like a fruit punch, like a Hawaiian Punch fruit punch that has, like, I think it even says contains 0% fruit juice on the front. So there's nothing healthy about those drinks, like your Hawaiian Punches or High Seas or any of those type of drinks. Those are just straight sugar, straight terribleness for you, straight I'm just adding a ton of calories to your body. Okay, so when you're picking a fruit, aim for the real thing, the actual fruit itself, but frozen fruits and dehydrated fruits like raisins as a dehydrated fruit also, or prunes, those would be good choices also. All right, vegetables also provide our bodies with essential vitamins and minerals. And examples obviously include the same: raw vegetables, frozen vegetables, you can have canned vegetables, and 100% whole vegetable juice. So you see your V8s out there, they have the whole vegetable juice or just plain old tomato juice. So those are good choices. Canned vegetables are still a great choice, but you might want to drain them. Sometimes they have a lot of extra salt inside the water that's in the can, but still something that's good for you. My daughter loves canned green beans. Like, I can just heat up a can of green beans and she'd eat those for a snack every day. But going back to fruits really fast, when you think about the fruit also, the ones that come in the really heavy syrup, like the diced peaches or pears that are like in cups, that syrup is terrible for you. So if you can avoid the syrup, or some of them now are being packaged in 100% fruit juice, that would be a lot better choice than getting one that's canned or packaged with heavy syrup. Light syrup, better, still not great, but if it is packaged in the syrup, sometimes just draining off that syrup is a much better choice. Just like with the vegetables in the cans, draining off that extra liquid is a better choice when you're eating those vegetables out of the can. Frozen vegetables that you heat up in the microwave, they have amazing broccoli and some other great vegetables that you can just heat up, or you can toss into a pasta dish, whole grain pasta dish, that are really easy to use and a great way to put an extra vegetable into your day. So next food group is dairy. Dairy provides our bodies with healthy fats. Your body needs fat. It has to have it. Some examples are milk, cheese, yogurt, butter, ice cream, cottage cheese, sour cream, cream cheese. Okay? Dairy does have a lot of fat in it, and things like ice cream and yogurts can have a lot of sugar depending on which kinds you buy and choose to eat. But these things also provide your body with other nutrients. Obviously, it provides your body with calcium and vitamin A and vitamin D, so it does provide some vitamins. But those healthy fats that you find in dairy is essential for your body. Your body has to have fat, healthy fat. It needs it to cushion your joints. It needs it to help maintain temperature regulation. It needs it to just survive, okay? So the fat transports nutrients between organs and between blood cells. So it's important to have some healthy fats in your diet. When I say healthy fats, I don't mean hot Cheetos, and I don't mean little Hostess snacks, little Debbie's, little honey buns, I don't mean anything that comes in a package. As much as possible, my family completely avoids anything that comes in a bag or a box. Most of those things are extremely processed and have a lot of added chemicals, and also have a lot of added sugar and fats and other things that your body just does not need. Your best bet is to eat as natural as possible, things that come from the earth, animals, obviously, like eating a hamburger or chicken patty, like those things are okay. Eating fruits and vegetables, things that are grown from the earth, those things are wonderful. Grains, whole grains that are grown from the earth, absolutely, those are great. It's where you start getting into the packages of packaged donuts, packaged Oreos, packaged hot Cheetos, and potato chips, and all of those things that you would get out of a bag or out of a box are not always the best choices as far as snacks and things like that go. Granola bars and things like that, they just have a lot of extra sugar and extra fat in them. So really being cautious about what you're putting in your body and the chemicals that are introduced into foods to maintain their shelf life, so that like a good box of Twinkies, I think they're good for like 20 years. That's disgusting. That means that they are so processed and they have so much chemicals in them that they can be okay for the next 20 years. And my son actually 2 years ago did a science fair project on a McDonald's cheeseburger, and we let it sit out for like a month, and it was not edible because it was hard as a rock, but it looked exactly the same. It's like on real food, like mold would grow because it's a real food. Things that are so processed with chemicals, like nothing is growing on that because it's just not it's just so full of chemicals and grossness. So be very cautious about what you're putting in your body. That fuels your performance for your sports. It helps you feel better about yourself. The food that you're eating releases dopamine in your brain, which is so great to help make you feel better. Good nutrition makes you sleep better. It helps with your grades. So nutrition is important. You should eat breakfast every day. Those things are hugely, hugely important. Okay. Nutrients. So inside the food groups, there are 6 major nutrients. And these are substances in food that your body needs. Your body must have these things. Carbohydrates gives your body energy. Protein helps build your body, helps restore your muscle fibers and builds up organs and things like that. Fats helps with temperature regulation and joint mobility and things of this nature. Vitamins and minerals improves the strength of your bones. It helps with eyesight, helps with hair growth and skin rejuvenation. Like, they're awesome. And water. You cannot live without water. You can live without water for like a day, and then your body starts to go into dehydration mode, and you must have water. You should be drinking at least 64 ounces of water, 8-ounce glasses every single day. And for those of you that say that's all you drink, that's awesome. For those of you that drink juice or pop or something else instead, you need to make sure you're also getting the water. You'll get headaches, you'll feel tired, you'll get cranky, your skin will dry out, your lips will dry out, your pee will be like an orangish color instead of a clear color. If that's ever the case, or if it's like a deep yellow, or if it really stinks, that's because you're dehydrated. You need to drink more water. Water is the most important thing, and like when you're hungry, a lot of times if you drink some water, you will feel full. So drink with each meal. Try to have a glass of water before each meal, so that you're making sure 8-ounce glasses of water. That's probably on your test, so you might want to write it down. 8-ounce glasses of water. You should be drinking that every day. It's essential for life. You could go days, 7-8 days without eating food because your body will use the fat stores that you have inside your body, but you cannot live without water. You must have water. All right, I know this video looks like it's going to be kind of long, so sorry about that. All right, My Plate. What My Plate is, it's an illustration showing how much and which kinds of food to eat. So it says, see the illustration below, which is this. So this is what the My Plate looks like. Okay, half of your plate should be fruits and vegetables, the entire half. This is every single meal, breakfast included, okay? The other side should have a little bit more grains than protein, but should be grains and protein, and then a side of dairy, whether that's a small thing of yogurt, or if it's a glass of milk, or if maybe you're using a cottage cheese as a side dish, or a cream cheese on maybe a whole grain bagel. Okay, so this is what the plate should look like. Half should be fruits and vegetables, the other half should be grains and protein, and then a small side of dairy. So here are some examples or some things that you can think about. It says, like, vary your vegetables. Make sure you have, like they say, to try to get one from all different colors of the rainbow. Okay, fruits are hugely important, but it's important to have the whole fruit. It's way preferable to juice. Make at least half of your grains whole grains. Look for that whole grain thing on the label. You want a lean protein. Remember we talked about how chickens and turkeys are a lot leaner than pigs and cows. Seeds and nuts are also a lean protein. Okay? And then your calcium-rich dairy foods. You need these. So skim milk or 1% milk is less fattening than a whole percent. And then like low-fat yogurt is obviously less fattening. As long as it's done in moderation. We drink whole milk at our house, and we eat the whole fat yogurts because we do that in moderation. So anything in moderation is okay. You just don't want to do it in excess. Like I wouldn't let my kids drink a gallon of the regular milk, but a few glasses a day is fine. So everything, you just got to think about the portion sizes and being in control of what you're putting into your body and how much of it you're putting into your body. And that comes to our next definition, which is serving size. The standard amount of food that the USDA recommends to consume at one time. I am going to put up a PowerPoint in the stream section that you'll go through and look at just to see how much portion sizes have changed in the last 20 years. Literally when I was in high school, which I'm old, but I'm not that old, it wasn't that long ago, is when they first introduced super size or biggie size. Wendy's was the first one that did it, and they called it biggie size. Before, adults ate, literally adults ate what is now the McDonald's kids meal. The small french fry and the cheeseburger, that was the size. Now they had bigger options, so like you could get the Big Mac or you could get the quarter pounder, but the french fries were in the white paper containers, and that was it. That was the size that you ate, and people were full when they ate that because that's what they thought was a meal. Now portions come in these huge plates and come in these huge sizes, and people eat all of it because they think they should, but they shouldn't. Like that's not a serving size. That is overabundance. That is not portion control. That is you eating way more. And I could talk literally all day about portion sizes because we as a society just tend to overeat. We don't need nearly as much. A serving size of ice cream is a half a cup, okay? A half a cup is less than this. This is a whole cup. Your fist is a whole cup. So it's like half of this size. A serving size of pasta noodles is your fist. This is it. So when you get a serving size of pasta, you imagine what your fist is like on the plate. That's the amount of noodles you should have. That's a serving size of pasta. Same thing with cereal. It's a cup, which is not even, I wish I had brought some. But this is a cup, and this cup is, I think, 10 ounces. No, this is an 18-ounce cup. So half of this filled with cereal. That's a serving size of cereal. So when you look at the back of this cereal and you're like, oh, it only has like 115 calories for half of this. How many of you put like 6 of these into a bowl of like a punch bowl size bowl of cereal that you're just eating? Okay, that's how the calories add up. Pop. So something this size of pop, okay, you're talking like 1,000 calories. You are allowed to have 2,000 calories in a day. That is on your test. You should know it. 2,000 calories in a day. That's what, and as you're going through puberty, like 2,200, maybe 2,500 if you're active in sports. But the more calories you bring in, the more weight you will put on. This is also on your test. 3,500 calories equals 1 pound. Okay, so I'll write that down so that you can see it. 3,500 calories, and you're going to look at the ceiling for a minute while I write this down. 3,500 calories equals 1 pound. Okay. So now you can see it. I wrote it down. 3,500 calories equals 1 pound. That's on your test. So let's say you're supposed to get 2,000 calories in a day, okay? And every day you drink a pop like this, right? That's an extra 1,000 calories a day. So you're eating your food, your 2,000 calories worth of food, but you're also drinking 1,000 calories in your pop every single day. So at the end of the week, you have an extra 7,000 calories. That's 2 pounds. You just gained 2 pounds. Just from drinking a gigantic pop every single day. This is diet, so it's okay. Actually, no, it's not. This is just as bad. But, because there's tons of chemicals in here. But when you drink a regular pop, a regular Coke, a regular Mountain Dew, there is 1,000 calories in something this big. 700 to 1,000, depending on the type of pop that you get and the actual size of it. That's 2 pounds. Same thing, like if you go to Dairy Queen and you get a large Blizzard, that's like 1,500 calories. Just that all by itself. If you eat 2 of those in a week, that's extra 3,000 calories. You've gained a pound. So you need to be very cautious of what you're putting into your body and maintaining a portion control. You don't need the large when you go to Dairy Queen. Get the small, get the kiddie size. In fact, when I was in high school, the kiddie size was the small. The small was the medium was the large, and that was it. That's as big as you got. So portion sizes at restaurants and everywhere else have just kind of skyrocketed, and people just continue to eat more and more and more, and they think they need it. If you're still hungry, and this is what I tell my kids all the time, I give them a portion size, and if they're still hungry, they can eat as many fruits and vegetables as they want, like literally as many as they want. They can have green beans all day, they can have more corn, they can have an apple or a banana until they feel like they're full. So it's super important to be cautious about what you're eating. Okay, fats and sweets. These categories were omitted from my plate as a food category because they provide no nutrients for your body. Examples, of fats, fried foods, we talked about that. Chips, Cheetos, anything you get in a bag is a fat. Sweets, cakes, cupcakes, donuts, sugary cereals, Frosted Flakes, those are terrible for you. Fruit Loops, Lucky Charms, terrible, 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 terrible. Any type of packaged cookie, Keebler Elves cookies or Oreos, terrible. Syrup, terrible. Jelly, terrible. Fruit snacks, terrible, terrible, terrible. Fruit roll-ups, terrible. Granola bars, candy bars, terrible. A lot of protein bars can be terrible. Those things are just filled with lots of sugars. All right, let's wrap it up here. I know this video is starting to get long. Why are portion sizes on the My Plate illustration different sizes? Name the 5 food groups, which if you don't know these 5 food groups, buddy, you better, because they're definitely on your test and they were your warm-up and they're in your wrap-up. And then what do you need to change in your diet to be healthier? So I want you to think about your current diet. How do you currently eat? What's your current focus? And what can you change inside your diet? Like, is it your portion control? Could you eat more nutrients? Could you change some of your grains to whole grains instead of just white or all-purpose flour grains? Okay? So think about your diet and how you can change it. I could talk about this for days, which is why this video is so long. If you have questions, let me know. If you want help with your diet, let me know. I would love to help you. Food is important. You can't outrun your fork, which is what they say. So as much exercise as you do, if you're not putting good food in your body, you still will gain weight. You still might not get the results that you want. And exercise is awesome, but nutrition is even awesomer. It just really makes you feel good about yourself, and it's just a great way to really achieve at your best potential. So, all right, that's it. There's an assignment in the stream section when you're done, so let's make sure we get that done, and then when you finish, get any of your other work done. All right, last day, yay, bye.